Yeah, yeah. Look, Levi's suit, you know what they thinking. Shipping expensive, you know the difference. You know what it's getting, you know what it's giving. Here, reels,
2 days later.
This was about $20 million in big money being spent in a historic sum unlike any seen in American history. Point blank period. And I think we need to have a real conversation about AIPAC. I think that what we do need to have a real conversation about is how a Republican, primarily Republican and largely Republican financed organization is playing and dumping money and playing an extremely divisive role in the Democratic Party. And by the way, it makes it much harder for us to coalition build and to create the winning coalitions that not just can ensure that we have representation at the congressional level, but they are spending this money into our party for a reason, because we need that coalition to win back House majorities. We need that energy and coalition of a progressive base in order to make sure that we win statewide and federally. And Republicans are pouring money to finance these for a reason, because people and representatives like Jamaal Bowman can move and reach communities that many other areas of the Democratic Party cannot. And so if Republicans can finance taking people like that off the board, they can also make it easier for themselves in November. And so I think for all of us as a party, regardless of your stances, it's very important that we have a conversation about why Republicans are playing such a large role in financing division among Democrats.
Do you think there's any...
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is coping with the fact that the simp of the squad, Jamaal Bowman, got absolutely blown out in his re-election bid against George Latimer. Now, a lot of talk on the left is about AIPAC and how they bought the election, which, I mean, is partly true. I mean, they did. But the part that's absolutely not true is this idea that AIPAC is some Republican organization. When no, AIPAC is an Israel organization, okay? And they fund Republicans and Democrats, okay? This was not a Republican challenge against Jamaal Bowman. This was actually a Democrat challenge against Jamaal Bowman. And for whatever reason, AOC can't admit that her own party turned against Jamaal Bowman and got him out of office, right? She can't admit it, okay? She cannot stand up to her own party and what they did to her friend, okay? And also on top of that, it wasn't just AIPAC pouring so much money into the race, which a lot of people are saying that was the deciding factor. I don't think that was the deciding factor. I think ultimately at the end of the day, this guy Jamaal Bowman just probably wasn't that good of a representative to his constituents. And also on top of that, this guy wasn't on board with Biden's agenda, which apparently, according to him, wasn't progressive enough, which is hard to believe, right? The Biden administration, Democrats aren't progressive enough. But again, there are some lunatics within the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is progressive, but this guy is way out there, right? He's way out there. Again, to the point where Democrats said, okay, we got to get rid of you because you just are against too much of what we want to do.
A lot of people are saying that the reason why Jamaal lost his election was because of AIPAC. I disagree. Meet Congresswoman Summer Lee from Pennsylvania. When it comes to her district, she has one of the largest Jewish populations in Pennsylvania. Summer Lee also spoke out against Israel. AIPAC, along with other pro-Israel groups, when it came to Lee and her primaries, they tried to come after her, but they backed down. Because she has strong support in her district, she supports most of Biden's domestic agenda, and she's willing to work across party lines. They also admitted that she has proven to be sensitive towards some of their concerns. Congressman Dave Min from California, he's not a squad member, but he too has been a critic of Israel. So AIPAC came after him during his primaries, and he was reelected. Once again, Jamaal has one of the largest Jewish population in his district. When you make comments like this, you alienate your voters. For an example, J Street is a left-wing Jewish lobbying group. who supported Jamaal. But because of his rhetoric, they took their endorsement away. Some are saying that the infrastructure bill had nothing to do with infrastructure. That's a lie. So when he voted no against rebuilding roads and bridges in his district. When it comes to George Latimer, guess what? His face is extremely well known. He's been in local politics for over 35 years. The man wasn't playing. He was knocking on every damn door that he could knock on. You cannot forget about your constituents. You have to be able to work with them. Not just a few. Summer Lee did it. Dave Min did it. You have to take care of your voters.
That person out. That's not a big surprise. I think more importantly is if you drill down and look at how this race actually took shape, the messaging in this race, the attacks against Bowman had way more to do with the fact that he voted against Biden's infrastructure plan and other initiatives than Israel. That's what the ads were about. The ads were about how this guy was just out of touch with his district and wasn't catering to the needs of the district. Then he knows this. As someone who ran for Congress, it is so important to actually be in lockstep with your voters. I think what we saw with Bowman was someone who just went far outside the mainstream of his own district and got beaten by a local person with a local track record, with local elected office experience. That was the recipe for victory there. A lot of times in primaries like this, you see people kind of airdrop in and try to primary somebody who don't have that relationship with the constituency in the district. That's not the case here. That's why Bowman lost. It had a lot less to do with Israel than people think it does, because the messaging of the race, all the ads, they were about Bowman not voting for the Biden infrastructure bill.
Yeah, so again, like I've told you guys since the first day that the war between Israel and Hamas restarted, this was the Achilles heel of the Democrat Party, okay? You're kind of seeing it play out right in front of our eyes. They are in a civil war, okay? It is the progressive pro-Israel Democrats versus the progressive not pro-Israel Democrats, okay? That's what's happening, okay? You even have Soul Brother number one, Hakeem Jeffries, his spokesman, his team, taking a shot at Jamaal Bowman, even though Hakeem Jeffries supported Jamaal Bowman in his primary, okay? But it kind of shows you that a lot of these people, again, they're at odds with each other, particularly over the fact that people like Jamaal Bowman and the AOC, they came into Congress with this idea that, hey, we're going to get rid of establishment Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries, and that really didn't work out for them, okay? That plan miserably failed, okay? So now, people like Hakeem Jeffries, his team, they're low-key kind of celebrating Jamaal Bowman's defeat. Again, full-blown Democrat Party civil war, okay? Let's read here. Speaking to the New York Times about Bowman's loss, a spokesperson for the Justice Democrats, a group committed to recruiting and supporting progressive Democrats all over the country, including Bowman, called Bowman, quote, a model, not a warning, for what political leadership can look like. The same spokesman went on to blame Jeffries, who actually endorsed Bowman, for the congressman's loss. Quote, the outcome of this election is a reflection on his leadership and whether Hakeem Jeffries stood up to Republican mega donors, he said. See, here we go. These idiots, again, trying to blame Republicans for something that Democrats obviously did, okay? This prompted a scintillating reply from Jeffries' team. His spokeswoman, Christy Stevenson, fired back by observing that, quote, the so-called Justice Democrats stated back in 2017 that their goal was to destroy the Democrat Party, and they laughably threatened to primary Hakeem Jeffries. They have failed miserably in every way. Is anyone surprised? Yeah, so again, what you have here are Democrats going back and forth with each other. Okay, they're mad, they're upset, okay? It is a full-blown civil war that has the potential to spill over into the general election, okay? Because the progressive base could come out and say, you know what, we're not going to vote for Joe Biden in retaliation for what happened to Jamaal Bowman, or at the very least, that's what I'm hoping, right? I'm hoping that they get mad and say, you know what, we're not going to vote for you, Biden, because you guys got rid of Jamaal Bowman, okay? I'm hoping that's what happens here, okay? Now, again, meanwhile, AOC is still coping, right? She's coping so hard that she embarrassed herself while coping because she put out a tweet here in which she tagged the wrong Jamaal Bowman, right? And made a historical error about the district he just lost, okay? So again, AOC is the gift that keeps on giving, okay? She embarrassed herself before the election. Now she's embarrassing herself after the election because in her attempts to actually, again, cope with the defeat of her comrade, she makes a mistake that basically humiliates her. So let's read here. Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez was one of the most vocal supporters of Representative Jamaal Bowman, who just lost his primary Tuesday evening and posted a tweet Wednesday praising him and made multiple factual errors. On Wednesday, Ocasio-Cortez posted a tweet praising Bowman as a true public servant. Unfortunately for her, she tagged the wrong Jamaal Bowman. Okay, so let's look at this tweet. Okay, she tagged Jamaal Bowman, but this is not the actual Jamaal Bowman, right? And again, this woman is so stupid that maybe she didn't realize it, okay? But that's not the right Jamaal Bowman, okay? That's somebody else. I guess her team didn't correct this, okay? Maybe she actually put this out. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that's kind of embarrassing, okay? You tagged the wrong person, okay? And then you got other things wrong as well, too. The Jamaal Bowman account belongs to a user who lists their location as Germany and has it posted since 2012. The congressman named Jamaal Bowman has two accounts, Rep Bowman and Jamaal Bowman, New York. Yeah, so she doesn't even know the account of somebody that she claims she supports so much, right? Again, look at her looking up at this guy, okay? I'm just saying there might be something going on here. I mean, as a third-party observer, right? I'm just saying I might got some questions, okay? AOC, she may like her meat dark, okay? She might like dark meat. I'm not entirely sure, okay? Besides the flood of mockery, Bowman's critics tossed at Ocasio-Cortez over his infamous fire alarm incident. Many pointed out that he wasn't the first black representative for the district. In fact, he wasn't even the second. Yeah, so AOC basically tried to state that Jamaal Bowman was the first black congressman for that district. Again, this is the woke virtue signal here. And she got fact-checked by the community notes, okay? The community notes correctly outlines that, yeah, this is not Jamaal Bowman's account, and he's also not the first black American to represent New York's 16th congressional district. Wow. She knows absolutely nothing about this guy, right? She did a Wikipedia search of this dude, okay, before she posted this. She knows nothing about him, okay? But again, this is supposed to be her comrade, right? This is supposed to be her ride or die, okay? But she doesn't know even the most basic thing about him, okay? She claims that he founded a private school to serve Bronx youth, even though this school apparently is like LeBron James's I Promise school. Absolutely garbage when it comes to students actually learning, okay? Because the math proficiency here is 25%, reading proficiency 25%. It's 99% minority enrollment, 60% black, 34% Hispanic Latinos. So basically no white people go to this school, okay? And surprise, 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 they're lagging behind the state in the district in regards to math and reading proficiency, right? So again, Jamaal Bowman founded a school where kids can't read and write. Okay, what does that accomplish? It's one thing if the school was performing at state or district level, but it's not. It's performing well below the state and the district. That school should be demolished, right? It should be demolished, and kids should be sent to a better school where they're actually going to learn something, okay? But like all of these woke schools, again, they focus more on indoctrination than education, and as a result, again, you get dumb kids, okay? So, I'm not sure if that's much to celebrate, okay? Oh, he founded a school, so what? Right? It's a failing school. Now, we got to talk about another member of the squad, Cori Bush, who also seems to be headed towards defeat. However, her chances appears to have gotten a whole lot better since the last poll that we talked about involving Cori Bush versus Wesley Bell, who's a St. Louis County prosecuting attorney who also is funded by AIPAC, that is trying to take out Cori Bush, okay? Because last time we checked in on her, she was getting blown out by like 22 points. Now, she's down by only 1 point in a new poll. A new poll out Wednesday shows Representative Cori Bush in a near-dead heat with her primary challenger, St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell. The poll was published the day after Bush's fellow squad member, Rep. Jamaal Bowman, became the first incumbent House Democrat to lose in a primary this cycle. The poll of 400 registered voters in Missouri's 1st District showed Bell up 1 point, leading Bush 43 to 42%. Yeah, so again, Cori Bush is losing, but by far less than what another poll that I believe was taken by another group showed just a few months ago, because apparently in the last poll by the Mailman Group, which again is the poll that we're talking about here today, Bell was trailing Bush by 16 points. So now Bell has actually caught up to Bush and passed Cori Bush. Okay, so you have a poll in which Bell was down, her opponent was down by 16 points, and now this dude is up by 1. And also there's another poll out showing Cori Bush getting blown out. Now, I think the poll showing Cori Bush getting blown out was actually in February. So it seems as if it is likely that this guy is probably winning this race, okay? USA Today noted the poll found Bell also leads Bush in job performance and favorability ratings. 61% of survey respondents gave Bell a positive rating on his job performance, while only 49% gave Bush a positive rating. 60% of respondents are favorable towards Bush, while 64% are favorable towards Bell. But the pollsters found some signs that may benefit Bell as the Show Me State's August 6th primary date approaches. Among the most consistent primary voters, those who voted in 3 of the most recent primaries, Bell led Bush by 10 points, 49% to 39% added the Hill. Yeah, so again, it seems as if Cori Bush also is headed towards defeat. However, we'll see. That race seems to be tighter than Jamaal Bowman's race. However, it seems as if the squad is being eaten by the Democrat Party, right? The Democrat Party has decided that, hey, you know what? We don't have any more usefulness for these far-left progressives. We're going to try to get them out of Congress, okay? We're going to try to do that. They were successful when it comes to Jamaal Bowman, okay? His skin color didn't save him. The race card didn't save him. And I don't think that that's going to save Cori Bush either, okay? I think that Cori Bush is basically going to get kicked out, okay, the same way that Jamaal Bowman got kicked out. And it's actually pretty hilarious, okay, to see the Democrat Party imploding, infighting, because if it carries over into the general election, let's say that Cori Bush is ousted and Jamaal Bowman is ousted, that could spark a progressive revolt, right? They could say, you know what? We don't like the fact that AIPAC bought these elections. We're not going to vote for Joe Biden in protest. It could get much worse, right? I think that what is happening here is extremely fascinating and is something to pay attention to politically, because I think that this could be a part of what motivates the progressive base not to vote for Joe Biden and Democrats. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.